Hi there, these comments are for KB, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. You are doing independent writing practice tests on my website, and you have paid me to error correct your essay. This is a time-consuming process, which is why I have to charge what I charge. But after this video, I'm going to rewrite your essay. I'm going to show you why, first of all, you got to score 3.5 out of 5 or 22 points out of 30. And I will show you how to rewrite this essay so you get a perfect score. Near the end of the video, I will do a complete diagnostic of any writing problems that you're having, and I'll even recommend specific lessons to help you strengthen your writing weaknesses. And that's the whole purpose of this video. All right, let's take a look at the topic. So people have different ways of escaping the stress and difficulties of modern life. Some read, some exercise, others work in their gardens. What do you think are the best ways of reducing stress? Use specific details and examples in your response. Okay, so let's take a look at your first paragraph. In this advanced technological era, everyone has lots of stress. I'm going to just get rid of that, and you don't need to say in his or her life. This is good enough. And then you might say, I'm going to change this a little bit, make it more concise. People relieve stress and we'll say here some people, which implies not all. So some people will relieve stress by reading good books, and they can put here so that they can divert their attention how about this, toward the story, and can forget their problems for a while. Others think that exercise is. I think you want to see, you said the, so I think you want to use superlative here. Okay, so go to Google, and sometimes during the video I will make certain recommendations, but I want you to check out the difference between good and best. Good, better, and best. So when do you use best? When do you use good? So how do you use the superlative form of that? So here it is. Go to Google, put good, better, best in English grammar. You can also put superlative, and that'll give you a good website for that. You say, others think that exercise is the best way to refresh. I'm going to say to recover maybe is a better word here. To recover from routine stress. But I think gardening is the best one to release stress. While gardening, a person can get fresh air in the outside environment and can also have a good time. So this is pronoun agreement here. I actually have a good lesson on this one. Okay, let's take a look at what. So you say a person, you have there, right? So if we change this, while gardening, people can get fresh air in the outside environment and can also have a good time with their loved ones. That way you don't have the pronoun agreement error. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so let's take a look at your first idea here. So you say, firstly, gardening is an outdoor activity as well as good exercise too. The problem there is this is not really a good topic sentence. This is just stating facts that gardening is an outdoor activity and good exercise. Right? Now, if these are your two key points, you might say gardening helps relieve stress because it gets the person into the outdoors and also gives him or her a chance to exercise. That might work, but let's take a look at your paragraph here. Yeah, I would say you get physical activity, you put in there. I'm just looking at what we want to do with this paragraph here. You see, in addition, the fresh air keeps my mind fresh and also helps me to improve my blood circulation to all my organs to keep me healthy. Furthermore, I get fresh vegetables and fruits to keep myself healthy. Yeah, you're bringing up too many ideas here in this paragraph, right? So maybe that's not a good idea, but let's work on the topic sentence first of all. If you said that, we now have a topic sentence here. Now, what is the difference is in my topic sentence, I've incorporated part of the writing prompt into the topic. So gardening relieves stress because it gives me a chance to exercise outdoors. A person, maybe put here who, use an adjective clause here. A person who goes outside for planting and watering get some physical activity along with an intake of fresh air in the outside environment. You have otherwise in this busy schedule, no one I don't know, I'm going to get rid of this part here. Let's keep this thing unified. Because gardening is, no commas needed after gardening, because gardening is the subject of that adjective clause or that adverb clause there, and you don't want to separate the subject from the verb, right? Now, I'm taking notes. You should be taking notes. You're trying to figure out what kinds of problems you're having here with your punctuation. So because gardening is a physical activity, you have so. Don't do it. This is called a mixed construction. What does that mean exactly? It means that you can't use because and so in the same sentence, because so, it creates what's called a compound sentence. It joins independent clauses together. Because creates a complex sentence with a dependent and independent clause. So one of these connectors needs to go. So because gardening is a physical activity, a person feels tired I'm going to say person will feel tired and will get a good sleep after doing this. Say articles. We have if a person gets a good sleep, then he or she will wake up with a fresh, healthy mind to start his or her day. Yes, this is good. And fresh, you're putting the comma in there. Why? because the comma replaces that word and, right? So these are what's called coordinate adjectives. So very nice punctuation. You have to illustrate. If you say to illustrate, you don't have to use the word it there. Just say to illustrate. I take care of my kitchen garden every day after my work. When I pick weeds, let's just get rid of the when here and put picking weeds, giving water to the plants, and putting some nutrients How about this? What if we did this and giving water and nutrients to the plants? Okay, let's keep going here. So picking weeds and giving water and nutrients to the plants. And what I'm doing is I'm making your sentence a little more concise. If you say, gives me a static happiness, a static means that you're really happy. There's really no need to use both of those words together. You could say, giving water nutrients to the plants makes me ecstatic, or giving water nutrients to the plants gives me happiness. I feel like the plants start to sway around each other and they grow healthier and healthier by taking care of them. I forget all my worries for a while. Moreover, it is a kind of exercise and maybe here you can probably describe why it's a kind of exercise. So you can put bending over, to pull weeds, so bending over to pull weeds and standing, kneeling, and crawling keeps me healthy and energetic. So exercises my legs, lower. How about my legs, arms, back, and abdominal area. Physical movements strengthen my muscles and improve my flexibility. Yeah, see, this is a little bit better. Is you want to be, in certain cases, very, very specific in what you say, and the more specific you are, the better it will be for your writing score, because it's showing that you have pretty good vocabulary. I'm not using any complicated vocabulary here, but I'm just trying to show how gardening helps exercise my body. So moreover, bending over to pull weeds and standing, kneeling, and crawling while I garden exercises my legs. I'm going to use a plural because we're using several different subgerund phrases there as subjects. So exercise my arms, legs, back, and abdominal area. These physical movements strengthen my muscles and improve my flexibility. In addition to that, probably just say, in addition, no need to say to that. In addition, fresh air keeps my mind fresh and also helps me to improve my blood circulation to all my organs to keep me healthy. Yeah, this idea I'm not going to really put in here because we don't have enough time to develop it. Now let's take a look at your paragraph length. I encourage my students to have close to 100 words in every paragraph, right? So for this one, easily, wow, 193. We have plenty enough, very well developed paragraph there. But what I did is I tried to focus specifically on the exercise idea, and I didn't get into the healthy thing about the vegetables and all that. That's maybe another time, another place. Yet secondly, by having this activity, working in a garden, we can have good time with our family members, which is one of the best ways to get, yeah. And I'm going to get rid of all this and just say, working in a garden with our family members relieves stress. So this also is actually a pretty good topic sentence here. The other paragraph, I actually had to make some changes in it, but I just made it more concise. So remember that don't just use words to use words, but you want to be as concise as you possibly can, and that's going to be better for your writing. So working in a garden where their family members receive stress or also relieve stress. For example, when I prepare my kitchen garden, my husband and I decide I'm going to say what kinds of plants we're going to grow. Here, in order to avoid the comma splice, which you don't want, and go to Google, get a definition of this. What is a comma splice? What you have here is a comma splice because you're trying to join separate sentences together with a comma. You don't want to do that. However, if you said and, so when I prepare my kitchen garden, that's your dependent clause, my husband and I decide what kinds of plants we're going to grow. And then we get seeds and start them in starters. Begin. So our son also gets involved in this activity by watching us. In this way, he knows how plants grow and what makes them healthy. Therefore, we have I'm going to put a hyphen here. We have get-togethers in the evening. My son also has plastic instruments to get involved from the preparation of the soil to harvesting fruits. I'm going to say tools is better, like rakes and hoes and things like that. So this is a word choice. So you might want to go to Google. What's the difference between tools and instruments? Here, tools. You use tools when you garden, right? That's probably the better way to express that idea. He always remains excited to work He always remains so excited to work, I'm going to say in our kitchen garden by watching him. I'm going to say work here, believe it or not. By watching him work with us, gives us, you can't do that. That's a mixed construction. You don't use prepositional phrases as subjects. However, if you get rid of the preposition and then you say watching him work with us gives us exhilaration, and we forget, how about watching him work exhilarates us. And we forget all our worries. Along with that, we meet our neighbors while working in the garden. For further, how about healthy? Maybe you could say interaction. We talk to them and also offer fresh vegetables from our garden. They also bring us baked cookies or cakes. Thus, we have good relations with our neighbors too. I'm going to say relationships, probably better in this case. We have good relationships with our neighbors too. Therefore, meeting with family members and friends while gardening is also a good way to relieve stress. And this is a pretty good paragraph, by the way. So I think that both of your paragraphs are well developed. A lot of students say, well, Michael, should I have 3 body paragraphs instead of 2? If you develop your paragraphs like you have, I'm going to say 4 paragraphs is probably enough. Yeah, this is 179 words. You don't need to do much more than that. All right, let's go to the conclusion. In conclusion, I enjoy working in my kitchen garden because I do both physical activity and social activities while working there. How about physical and social activities while working there? Both of them. What if we do this? You already said working in the garden, right? So that's not needed while working there. I'm going to show you a really nice way to rewrite this sentence that definitely shows you have very good language use. I'm getting rid of that. That's not doing anything, really. What if you say both and then change them to which? So in conclusion, I enjoy working in my garden because I do both physical and social activities, both of which are crucial points to refresh our mind. Therefore, I believe that gardening instead of saying the best way, let's get rid of all those words and just say effectively releases stress. All right, let's go over the essay one more time, and then I will do some recommendations of maybe some lessons and things that you can do. So it says, in this advanced technological era, everyone has lots of stress. Some people release stress by reading good books so they can divert their attention towards a story, can forget their problems for a while. Others think that exercise is the best way to recover from routine stress, but I think gardening is the best way to release stress. While gardening, people can exercise in the outside environment, can also have a good time with their loved ones, neighbors. All right, let's keep going. Firstly, gardening relieves stress because it gives me a chance to exercise outdoors. A person who goes outside for planting and watering gets some physical activity along with an intake of fresh air in the outside environment. Because gardening is a physical activity, a person will feel tired and will get a good sleep after doing this. If a person gets a good sleep, then he or she will wake up with a fresh, healthy mind to start his or her day. To illustrate, I take care of my kitchen garden every day after my work. Picking weeds and giving water and nutrients to the plants gives me happiness. Actually, let's change this to plural. We have picking and giving. I feel like the plants start to sway around each other and they grow healthier and healthier. By taking care of them, I forget all my worries for a while. Moreover, bending over to pull weeds and standing, kneeling and crawling while I garden, exercise my legs, arms, back, and abdominal area. Maybe say areas. These physical movements strengthen my muscles and improve my flexibility. In addition, fresh air keeps my mind, how about clear? Because you already said fresh. And also helps me to improve my blood circulation to all my organs to keep me healthy. Secondly, working in a garden with our family members also relieves stress. For example, when I prepare my kitchen garden, my husband and I decide what kinds of plants we're going to grow, and then we get seeds and begin them in starters. Our son also gets involved in this activity by watching us. In this way, he knows how plants grow and what makes them healthy. Therefore, we all have get-togethers in the evening. My son also has plastic tools to get involved from the preparation of soil to harvesting fruits. He always remains so excited to work in our kitchen garden. Watching him work exhilarates us and we forget all our worries. Along with that, we meet our neighbors while working in our garden for further healthy social interaction. We talk to them and also offer fresh vegetables from our garden. They also bring us baked cookies or cakes. Thus, we have good relationships with our neighbors too. Therefore, meeting with family members and friends while gardening is also a good way to release stress. In conclusion, I enjoy working in my kitchen garden because I do both physical and social activities, both of which are crucial points to refresh our minds. Maybe put S here. Therefore, I believe that gardening effectively releases stress. So the first thing we want to do is go into the grammar section. Okay, I'm going to take a look at a few things in here you can take a look at. Let's say sentences with adjective clauses. Absolutely. That's a good lesson for you right now. Lesson 6 and grammar lesson 6.1. Lesson 16, count and non-count nouns. I think that's a good lesson for you. Articles, lesson 20. I think gerunds and infinitives, lesson 24. This is a good one, being more concise, lesson 27. I think you can benefit from looking at that lesson and learning that. How about, I think lesson 28, when to use commas. I think that's a good lesson for you. Lesson 32, pronoun antecedent agreement plus practice exercises. So those are lessons you can take a look at. Okay, let's go to the writing part of my course here and see what we have. Yeah, I think a couple of things here. How about writing lesson 5.2, one simple trick to improve topic sentences. Check out that. Writing lesson 5.6, writing the perfect paragraph. I think that's a good lesson for you based on your current writing abilities. All right, so what do you do? So I recommend that you go through these lessons and take some notes, try to master this information, and then continue completing more practice tests, and let's see how you do. All right, so what did we do in this video? I just showed you how to take your writing, which is 3.5 out of 5, or 22 points out of 30, how you can change that and make it where it's 5.5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. So if you can make some of the changes I'm recommending in this error correction video, you definitely can improve your writing. All right?